You see, this is that bullshit. So TMZ posted a story titled, Chris Brown, Australian officials want to deny entry, he lacks character. And in the story, TMZ claimed, well, I'll read a little bit of the story to you. Well, what the hell, it's not that long. I'll read the whole damn thing to you. Fuck it. Of course, there's a link to the story on my blog, but most of you are like Fantasia and your asses can't read, so let me read it to you so you don't hurt yourself. TMZ writes, and I quote, it looks like Chris Brown will be denied entry into Australia because officials from the country say the Rhianna beating makes it clear he's not a fit character to enter their borders. Chris was scheduled to tour in the country in December, but immigration officials want to lower the boom, saying, quote, people need to understand, if you are going to commit domestic violence and then you want to travel around the world, there are going to be countries that say to you, quote, you cannot come in because you are not of the character we expect in Australia, end quote. The Prime Minister of Australia echoed the sentiment, saying it was, quote, brilliantly expressed. There were protesters in Australia over his planned tours in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth. The visa has not been denied yet, but the handwriting may be on the wall. Brown's application for visas have been rejected in Britain, Canada, and New Zealand, end quote. Basically, places where Caucasian people came and murdered a bunch of people and took over, stole the fucking land from the people who were there. Like, for example, of course, the Australian thing is fake, but they killed off all of those Aboriginals and breeded the, I guess you could say, the black out of them, or the brown, as I would say. They basically snatched the color out of them by making them fuck white people to try to breed them out of existence. They bred them like animals and slaughtered a whole bunch of the rest of them. But yet these European countries are going to sit up there, stolen lands that they claim are European countries, are going to sit up there and say that Chris Light Brown is too violent for the country, even though they have a history of going around the world, killing, murdering, raping, pillaging, and stealing, and then saying that their troops are fucking heroes, as opposed to terrorists, which is what they actually are. Bunch of fucking hypocrites. Anyway, the Shade Room caught some of Chris Brown's messages. Chris Brown said in the Shade Room, and I quote, it's fake. TMZ just tries to stop my paper. He goes on to say this story is false and I'll be in Australia in December. To all the fans, don't listen or be discouraged to buy tickets. My pre-sales tickets sold out in the first 2 minutes. Shout out to Chris Light Brown. You're doing big things. They're trying to basically fuck you over. I see what they're doing. TMZ, seriously, you guys can eat a fucking AIDS infected dick with lettuce wrapped around that motherfucker for playing around with Chris Brown's paper like that. Stop trying to disparage this man unless you guys are giving a false story and you just got fucked over yourselves. But if you guys are just trying to be assholes and dicks because he uppercut Rhianna in self-defense, well, get the fuck out of here. If you don't like so-called misogyny, guess what? I don't like misandry, which is misogyny against men, which is far more prevalent than misogyny against women. Men get treated like shit in America, and I'm fucking tired of it. Let me know what you think about it all below. Be sure to subscribe to the Meat Magazine YouTube channels. Visit meatmagazine.blogspot.com for more.